So here's how you start an online education or coaching business in 2025, even if you don't have a big following. And if you do already, then this will also help you. I'm going to teach you this in 8 simple steps. So my name is Russell Grant. I'm an online educator, marketer, and mindset coach. And 5 years ago, I started my first online coaching business, and I built that to 6 figures in just 6 months. I then retired my wife from her job, and we started another business together and followed these 8 steps to build a second one. And now we teach others to do so. So over the last 5 years, I've created 3 businesses online that create multiple 6 figures, and you can too. So I'm going to break this down step by step for you. So the first thing that you need to identify first is your niche, and you need to select the right niche. And you want to pick who you want to work with, what you want to coach and what problems you want to solve, and how you're going to do this. And the way that you can come up with this is with these 3 circles here. So you want to figure out what skills you currently have. So at the moment, you might be a web designer in a 9-to-5 job. That is a skill that you have, and you can go freelance with this, create your own business, or teach others how to build their own website. You may be a golf instructor, and you want to teach people how to reduce their slice, improve their game, and become a scratch player. Or you could be in the fitness niche, the coaching niche, sleep, it doesn't matter. But I want you to figure out what skill or expertise you have. And because you have this skill and expertise, this allows you to solve problems for people. And you may have solved problems in your own life. Like me, for example. I solved the problem of curing pretty much my overwhelm and my anxieties, my depressions, and also my poor drinking habits. So I created an online business educating men that are in a similar situation to me. And I was able to then help 500 men in 6 months just with this offer, and have 100 clients on the back end paying me a substantial amount, creating my first 6-figure business. So you want to first pick your skill. Then you want to make sure that you enjoy it, because you want to have enjoyment with this. There's no point creating a business that becomes a prison or a job. And then you need to understand and do the research on the validity of the market. So you need to make sure that the market is in enough pain. And the reason why we need to do this is because people generally do more to avoid pain than they will to gain pleasure. And people have pains because where this comes from is that people have desires. They're in a current situation and they want to get to a desired situation. And it's usually because they have things that they don't want. It could be excess body fat, debts, or whatever it may be. Or there's things that they want that they don't quite have, which could be attracting a partner, better relationships, feeling more confident, and so on. So you want to make sure they have that pain, because they have this desire, but they have these obstacles in front of them. And these obstacles and challenges, they just perceive that they can't overcome them. And because of that, that creates pain. And these are problems. And if you can solve people's pains, that is extremely valuable. And where the value goes, the money always follows. It's how the whole, economical system works. Then you want to be making sure that these people have money to work with you. So for example, if you want to help students, they're not going to have a lot of cash available, so you have to adjust your pricing. But if you want to help business owners or entrepreneurs, single mothers, whatever it may be, you need to make sure that they have the money that's in alignment for what you want to get paid for your services. Then you need to make sure there's at least 10,000 plus people that share this pain and have the money, because otherwise you're not going to be able to get the message out there. And you need to be able to find these people too. And you can find these people on social media, you can find these people in your phone book, you can advertise, you can network. And then you want to make sure that there's competition. Because if there's zero competition for the market that you're going to try and serve, then that just then shows it's not a market that's fruitful and a market that's going to be advantageous for you and your business. So step number 1 is making sure that you select your niche. Second one here is your offer. So once you've selected the niche that you want to work with, you then need to create an offer. And your offer is so important. A lot of people spend most of their time building the product, building the course, recording the education, thinking about what they know in their heads or what they think their market needs, instead of testing and seeing what they want. And I did this mistake many years ago, where I spent a couple of months in the lab on the computer creating this amazing course for men to become masters of their mindset, masters of their emotions and everything else. And then when I put it to the marketplace, nobody wanted it. And only a small few people did, after a bit of resistance and a bit of a tussle with the market, because I was just trying to make the market fit around me rather than me fitting around the market. So one of the biggest advice I can give you when creating your offer is to give people what they want on the front end and give them what they need on the back end. So one of the first offers I put out when I had a fitness business was a 28-day program. And in those 28 days, it guaranteed that in that time, you drop 10 pounds, start to ditch the dad bod, you'll remove a habit that's creating a lag effect in life. So it could be smoking, drinking, or complaining, and you'll get your alpha mojo back. And if you didn't get that result, we gave you a refund, money on top, and all these other things, which I can talk about in another video. And that's what my market wanted initially, because people have 3 different types of problems. They have pebble problems, they have rock problems, and they have boulder problems. And the boulder problems and the rock problems, they're not aware of yet. So by me helping these men through my program, through my courses, through my education, solve their pebble problems, it then uncovered the rock problems and the boulders. And that's when I gave them what they needed, which was really about mastering their emotions, their habits, their behaviors, working on their past traumas and their addiction problems. But nobody wants to do that on the front end. Nobody's researching right now, well, not a lot of people are researching right now, how I can be more of an emotional man, right? How I can connect more with my family, how I can walk barefoot in the grass in the mornings and do breath work. They're just looking like, how can I feel a bit less shit? How can I look a bit better? How can I perform a bit better? How can I lose a bit of weight from the midriff? And that's what really helped that offer land well and create my first business. So with the offer, I highly recommend creating a core offer, which is a low ticket product with a low barrier. And the reason for this is because at this moment in time, if you're new to coaching, if you're new to creating education online, or you've been struggling for a while, it's quite hard for you to build that know, like, and trust with someone to value themselves and value you enough to drop, say, 1,000 to 2,000 on a program with you. Because if I use this example of myself, several years ago, I was really struggling with my mindset. I was feeling depressed, I was feeling anxious, I had poor habits like drinking and so on from there, and I really wanted to sort this out. And there was a coach that I wanted to work with, but one of his offers was around about 3K, all right, £3,000. And at that time, yes, I had the money to spend on it, but I wasn't trusting myself and I didn't value myself enough to spend that money. So I already had these pots, but these pots were leaking out into other things to substitute for me feeling crap every day. So it was on my expensive car, it was buying clothes, it was dopamine hits, alcohol, fast food, trying to impress others. So I wanted to keep those pots close to me so I could have what I valued at the time. But this coach of mine that I worked with several years ago, he had a core offer. And he had an offer to just help men end self-sabotage in 28 days. And I was like, well, this sounds pretty good. And then I went through like his email sequence and, done a bit of research about it, saw his sales page, and it was only £97. And I was like, well, I'm quite willing to spend that on myself, because even if I don't quite trust myself to follow through, I don't mind losing £97 in comparison to 3K. And then when I jumped into this guy's program for 28 days, he completely rocked my world. He changed my perspective, he changed my beliefs, and I started to value myself more. And each week going through that process, I was like, I don't need to spend money on this expensive car. I don't need to go out like drinking alcohol. I'm starting to change my perspective. I'm starting to change my beliefs, and I'm starting to value myself more. So that when it came to the end of the 28-day process, and then he had his upsell offer, which was for 90 days, which I think at the time was around about £1,000, I was like, take my money, because I was ready now to free this up. And this is why I find a lot of coaches and educators struggle to sell high ticket just on the front end. You're best to get someone in with some goodwill and build that trust with them. And it also allows you to learn more about your market, learn more about your customers, so you can create even better offers for them by solving their pains and problems. So I definitely recommend creating a core offer to start with. So you want to select your price. I actually started my first business, believe it or not, with a 28-day for £28 offer. So just £1 a day. And we took 500 men through this program for 28 days, over 6 months. And we helped them drop 10 pounds, we helped them ditch a habit, we helped them change their mindset and become more of an alpha man, if that makes sense. And over the course of those 500 people, at the end of the 6 months, around about 100 of those people were then signed up for the next 12 months with me in my high ticket program, either on a monthly subscription or paid in full, which then created my first 6-figure business in just 6 months. And then, as I said, I retired my wife, and then we did the same thing for a women's program, helping women reclaim back their confidence in their body since having children. And we just rinsed and repeated these 8 steps again. So once you've kind of got the price, you understand the niche, you want to start creating the offer. And this is one of the simplest ways I can help you create an offer. So this is to do with like a staircase, okay? So this represents down here your prospect, your market. And you want to understand where their current situation is, what their pains are, what their desires are, what's going to help instill confidence in them, what's going to make them take action, what things do they have that they don't currently want, what things do they want that they don't currently have. And this is going to create those problems, which equals pain. And then you're going to have the outcome of the first core offer. So this could be a 4 to 6 week period, okay? And the 4 to 6 week period is great because it's long enough to get a result and make some kind of change, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, whatever it may be. And it's short enough to keep their attention so they're primed and ready to then go for the next level in your program. And having this 4 to 6 week period, what you want to do is have a staircase of problems you're going to help them overcome. So for example, with number 1 here, I solved the problem of them losing the 10 pounds. Problem number 2 I wanted to solve for them was ditching that habit, because it wasn't that they couldn't lose weight, they just had poor habits and standards. Some of them couldn't get out of bed in the morning, some were going to bed too late, some were drinking too much, some of them had like emotional triggers. So I create trainings inside that core offer to help them overcome it. Because if you help people overcome their problems and not just the symptom of the problem, because the covering up the symptom, just to give a little side note on this, is just giving them an exercise plan and a meal plan, right? That's only going to overcome the problem. But to overcome and solve the real root cause is to help them with their habits. Because if someone can change their habits, they can change their life. Because then they're going to view everything in a different way and it's going to become part of their identity. And then I was helping them with the last one, which was helping them with their energy, which was to get that alpha mojo back, so energy management. So their current situation was that they were overweight, they had a dad bod, they had poor habits, and they had low energy, which means they were stressed all the time, and then the cycle continues. By me helping them solve them problems, I alleviated their pain, and when you alleviate people's pain, that is extremely valuable, and where the value goes, the money will follow, okay? Cool. So we have the niche, we have the offer. Next, we've got to create a proposal or book calls with these people, because conversations will lead to cash. We need to go out there and to the marketplace in a proactive way, not a reactive way. And I know it can be quite scary to message people out the blue, call people out the blue, post on social media, whatever it may be, and I don't blame you. I mean, what was we all taught as children? We were told by our parents, I know my parents did, they said don't talk to strangers, right? And so no wonder people don't want to get into a sales job, they don't want to create a business, they don't want to talk to strangers, you don't want to talk to that person in the club when you were younger, because it's that fear of rejection, and it's also that paradigm that's been created from your parents saying just don't talk to people you don't know. But we have to go out there and get the business, otherwise we're not going to be able to make a go of this, right? So you either want to create a proposal, and this can just be done on like a Google Doc, okay? So just done on a Google Doc. And that can just be where you speak to that person's pains, problems, situations, tell them about the pitfalls that they're going through right now, maybe 1 to 3 pitfalls. So with my business before, it was like not having a great eating plan, not having a good routine, and not being able to deal with stress, you know, so they're leaning on drink. And then you provide them, this is the solution, the breakdown, and then you don't have to get on calls with this then, and you can just send them the proposal if they're interested, and then from there, they can sign up to the core offer. And you're gonna make this offer ridiculous for people to say no to. It's a Godfather offer, as I like to call it. I'm gonna make you an offer that you can't refuse. And you don't have to have guarantees and things like that in there, but that's what I had. So my offer was that if you don't lose the 10 pounds in 28 days, we'll refund you the 28 pounds. We'll give you 28 pounds on top wired to your bank account, and you'll get to another 28 days of coaching for free. So even if they kind of got to this level here and they fell off, they'd bounce back and start off pretty much further ahead than when they started. And there were conditions they had to meet, but these conditions weren't to trip anyone up, so don't worry about that. The conditions were, if you meet these conditions, like check in with us, eat the right calories, movement, do the exercises, turn up to the Q&As, it facilitated the outcome that we promised. So it protected everyone, okay? Cool, or you can book calls with people, okay? So you can book calls with people, you can just do this manually, you can do it inside your calendar, you can use apps like Schedule Once or Calendly to do this as well. And then you want to be stepping into step number 4, which is creating a warm list. And the reason why we want to create a warm list is because we need to get validation from the market and we need to get proof of concept. If we start screaming from the rooftops and shouting about this on social media and the offer sucks, then you're going to kind of give up, okay? Then you're going to think to yourself, this isn't going to work, and so on. And then you may kind of ruin your chances if you keep just putting out different offers here. So we're doing this behind the curtains, kind of under the table. So you want to start creating a warm list. And On this warm list, you can get yourself a Google Doc or in your notepad or whatever it may be, and you're going to get these contacts from your phone. So when I first started out at the back end of 2019, I had loads of men inside my phone book. They were friends, they were family, they were ex-clients, they were colleagues, and I was literally just thinking, right, there's at least like 50 people in there. So we had like 50 people that I could message. Then I looked at my social media, and at that time I had around about 1.5k followers on IG, and I had about 3k on Facebook. Those were the two platforms I was on. And then I looked at email, but at that time I didn't have an email list. And then there were groups. I was in a few Facebook groups, and I had a few networks that I was a part of, okay? So total, from just spending, an afternoon looking around, what we've got here, 4,500, close to 5,000 people that I could message. So then once I did that, I then started to message these people. And I messaged them with either a voice note or a video message or a load of text, okay? And I find voice notes and videos is a lot better because it creates a pattern interruption. Someone will see that and they'll be intrigued to hear what you have to say. And this is kind of how my first offer went. And like I said, this was many years ago. And it was just like, let's just say I had Chris in my phone book. I'd send him a voice note on WhatsApp. But hey Chris, hope you're doing well. Hope family, life and business is good. I've got something I want to share with you, mate. I'm extremely excited about. It may benefit you or benefit someone else. So I'm actually beta testing this product at the moment. It's called the Alpha Mojo 28. And we're helping men at the moment drop 10 pounds in 28 days. We're helping them ditch a habit, maybe smoking, drinking or complaining. And we're helping them master their energy and their stress level so they get that Alpha Mojo back. And if you don't get the results that we promise, we have a full guarantee, we refund you, we wire transfer your money on top, so you've got nothing to lose. The worst case scenario is you have a great experience and you actually net money. So would you like to see the details, mate, or know somebody else that would? And the reason why I'm asking that as an alternate close is because I don't want to directly feel like I'm selling to that person. And if they come back and say, well, no, I don't, but I know someone at work that does, I can then get their details. And if they say, yes, they can, I'll still ask if someone else does, then I'm getting twice the lead generation. And then what happened from there is, I started sending out messages in batches of about 30 to 50. And if the first time round you send this message, it kind of flops, you don't get much back, people say no. Well, this is a great opportunity for you to find out what they want. Because when I created this offer, I was like, I think I know what they want, but I need to test the market. And let's just say Chris got back to me and he said like, I'm okay, mate, it's not really for me. I'm not gonna look at this as a disaster, I'm gonna look at this as an opportunity. And I'm gonna message Chris back and I'll say, yeah, no worries, Chris. I wanna make this program the best thing ever. So I'm looking to do some market research. Would you mind just answering a few questions or potentially jumping on a quick call with me, just so I can kind of see what you really want help with the most when it comes to feeling better, looking better and performing better. And as a thank you, I'll send you over a resource or a diet sheet or have half an hour of my time. And 9 times out of 10, these people say, yeah, sure. Like I'm looking to build muscle, I'm looking to work on my sleep and also my energy. So I'm like, okay, I've ticked one of these boxes, so now I can change the offer. Because it's not gonna be a disaster changing the offer behind the scenes because nobody knows about it on social media yet. It's not gone public. So then I can just change up and say, well, we're not gonna do this anymore. We're gonna help with energy, sleep and building muscle. So we're gonna help you add 5 pounds of muscle, for example. So that when I send the next batch of 50 messages or 30 messages, I'm gonna get a better response rate. Does that make sense? And then when that person replies, we use something called the punt queue framework, okay? So when you get into conversations with people, you wanna build a relationship. You don't wanna approach this from a transactional mindset, right? These are people, they're real people. And if you focus on the impact first, the income will come later, trust me. So once that person replies to, yeah, I'd love to see the details. I then reply to them and say, no worries, okay, cool. Thanks for getting back to me. Do you mind if I just ask you a couple of questions so I can get the right information over to you? And then I can follow this framework where I can ask powerful questions and find out what their pains and problems are. See what kind of urgency's there. So like, are you looking to solve this now or later? So I wanna make sure that these people want to take action now. I can figure out their needs. So that's with the N. So what do they need from me? What do I need from a coach? What do you need from me to make this a no-brainer? Then build trust, and the way that you build trust is by acknowledging the prospect, having a real conversation, repeat back to them stuff and thanking them for being honest and open and so on from there, and get some kind of quantifiable information. So this could be that they're working towards a date, they want to solve a project, they want to lose a certain amount of weight. It has to be something quantifiable. And I'm using fitness examples just because this was the first offer I did, but you can use this for any type of offer or conversation that you're going to have. So once you've done that, and you've had these conversations, you then want to think about, where am I going to deliver this product? And you can deliver this in many ways. We use school.com, okay, to deliver our programs. And if you want to actually get this process broken down into an actual mini course, then check the link in the description. And we have a free mini course. There's no catch, nothing like that. I've got nothing to sell you. And it will just teach you step by step on how to do this, so you can start creating your own education online business in 2025. And you don't need a big following. So just check that link out below. And then once you've done that, we now want to go with delivery. So we use School for delivery, but you can do this through WhatsApp, email, a Facebook group. And you want to create the first 1 to 2 weeks of content, and then you can then start selling, okay? Because you don't need to have the whole thing complete, because done is better than perfect, and we want to take imperfect action. One of the phrases my first ever business coach back in 2015 said to me, and I've repeated this to my clients and customers for the past 10 years, is you've just got to be willing to jump off the cliff first and then build the parachute on the way down. Because you'll just spend days, weeks, months, if not years, building the parachute, and then you'll go to jump and you'll go, oh, I don't want to jump, I don't like the color of the seams. So you spend another couple of months changing the color of the seams. You go to jump again, oh, I don't like the color of the parachute itself, I want to change it, I want to add a logo, right? And you'll never jump. And yes, you might jump the first time around and get a few bumps and a few scrapes, but you just pick yourself up and go again, because you want to be working and doing things and building as you go. Otherwise you'll just spend all your time in analysis paralysis, or something I like to call mental masturbation. And this is where you know you need to be doing the work, like having conversations from your warm list, going through the PUNQ framework, but you're like, oh, I just feel uncomfortable with this. I'm going to go work on my logo. I'm going to go work on my website. I'm going to do more market research. And all that does is it just jerks your brain off to make you feel good that you're actually doing something, but you're not doing the real thing that's going to move the needle and make progress. So we're going to figure out our delivery. We just need 1 to 2 weeks of content in there, and then we can have these conversations, and then we can start putting people into the program. Because if you're 2 weeks ahead, as you're coaching these people, as you're educating these people, as you're getting results from these people, you can then start to build as you go. And the great thing is as well, is that your customers will tell you about what they want. They'll tell you about their needs. You'll be able to communicate with them. You'll get obsessed with them. You'll be curious as hell. And that will help you build an even better product. Because instead of giving them what you think they need, you're going to give them what they actually want. And that's valuable, because people don't pay for things because they're worth the money. They pay for things because they're worth more than the money, right? This is how the psychology of buying works. So just to kind of step back, step number 1, we want to figure out, our niche. And so who we want to work with, what we want to solve and how, making sure we've got the skill, we enjoy it, and there's validity in the marketplace. Then we're going to craft that offer. I highly recommend a low ticket core offer. Pick your price, figure out the ladder and the steps of the problems you're going to help them solve. And then you're going to create a proposal or book calls by creating a warm list. Your warm list is going to come from all of your network that you have right now. Figure out your delivery metrics. You can do this just through email or a Facebook group. You don't need to use School, but I highly recommend it. And then you're going to have 1 to 2 weeks of content ready for them. And then you're having these conversations. And you can have these conversations in WhatsApp, email, sending people DMs. Like once I exhausted my phone book, I then went to my Instagram account and messaged every bloke that was on there. Then I went to my Facebook, messaged every man that was on there. And that resulted in us, taking on a lot of people through this process. And then we had the upsell part, okay? So a little bit of a touch on delivery, okay? So you're probably thinking like, what do I need to do to deliver this? Well, there needs to be a few accountability and adherence metrics, and there needs to be some kind of methodology. Otherwise, they're just going to be kind of shooting in the dark. So you want to be able to create a community and a tribe. This is why I highly recommend using School or a Facebook group, because people like themselves, and they want to have this sense of belonging as well. And by creating community, by creating tribe, we created like a brotherhood inside the Busy Man's Fitness Club, which is what my old business was, which was the Alpha Mojo, and then we had our upsells, and we created a brotherhood. These men were there to clap when you win, to bring you up when you're feeling down, but hold you to that higher standard. And sometimes just hearing me saying it all the time, you should do this, you should do that, this is what I'd recommend. Sometimes they have this like mindset of like, well, it's easy for you, Russ, you're already doing it. But if there's other people in the same boat as them and they're all rowing together, as they say, a rising tide will lift all boats. You want to be able to have Q&As. You can use Zoom, you can use Google Meet. I can't even think of any other just Zoom and Google Meet. They're the ones that I use. And you can host a weekly Q&A. So that all these people that you're helping get a chance to get closer to you, to build a better relationship with you, and they can ask you questions. When they get the answers, they can take more action, and you can also get more information from your customers to find out what they really want and need. And this is then going to strengthen your offer. It's going to strengthen your conversations that you have, and it's going to strengthen your delivery. You also want to help them have like shifts in beliefs and habits, because 9 times out of 10, or even 10 times out of 10, right? Especially in the business I'm in, I'm teaching people how to do this, right? I always say to my customers, look, you're never going to experience like sales and marketing and business problems. You're only going to experience energy and life problems that manifest and show up in your business. For example, when I was trying to grow my business several years ago, I had poor standards, I had poor habits. I was drinking a lot, I was staying up too late, I wasn't looking after myself, I wasn't working out enough. And then this created problems in my business because I was tired. My energy was off point. Like if I went on a session last night, right, and I was up till like 3 in the morning, there is no way on earth I'd be standing here right now in my garden delivering this value to you guys. I just want to be able to do it. So you want to help these people shift their beliefs and habits. So even with my Alpha Mojo program, like people know what to do, right? Just eat less and move more. That's how you're going to feel better. But they have challenges, and challenges and obstacles aren't in your way. Challenges and obstacles are on the way. And by teaching them to deal with challenges better, by helping them with reframes and so on from there, they're going to adhere to the program more. They're going to hold themselves more accountable. So their adherence is going to dictate their results, and their results are going to be dictated by their adherence. So if you're able to help them have a smooth journey, and even if the horse wobbles, they don't fall off and they keep going, they're going to get better results. And if they get better results, they're going to trust you more, they're going to like you more, they're going to see more value, and they're going to want to work with you for longer and actually tell other people about it, which is great because then you can get referrals. Then we want to be looking at payments. We need to get payments set up. So in order for people to pay you, you want to have a professional way to do this, okay? So I like using Stripe. PayPal, you can use if you like, but it's not the preferred one. Or you can take payments through school. If you have a school community, you can take payments through that. But Stripe is extremely easy to set up. It's free of charge. You can set up payment links, and you don't even have to jump on calls with these people. So now we've covered this, we're going to move on to the upsell part. This is where the real money is, okay? So we've got the niche, we've got the offer, the proposal's done, or we've booked some calls, we've built our warm list out, we know how we're going to deliver the service, and we know how to have conversations with people now using the PUNQ framework, okay? Because if you understand their pains and problems, if you've created urgency, you find out their needs, you've built trust, you've got something quantifiable, you are now ready to make them an offer, okay? Then we've managed to go through all the community, building a tribe. Lastly is the upsell. And this is where I created financial freedom. This is how I retired my wife from her job. And this is how I've never looked back since. We've recently moved from the UK to the Mediterranean. I live in the island of Crete. And if it wasn't for this framework, these 8 steps, I would not be here now. I've repeated this in 3 businesses. And if I want to create a new one, I'll do the exact same thing. So then we had the upsell. So this is where we can have a high ticket product. So back when I was coaching the Alpha Mojo, as I said before, our first program was just £28. And then our upsell started off at £500. And then by the end of the process, it was at 1997, okay? Ends in a 7, right? Ironically. But we don't do that pricing structure anymore. So we had the upsell from here, okay? So what ended up happening was we averagely took on anywhere between like 50 to 80, potentially 100 men every single month, because it was a no-brainer offer, £1 a day. And then off the back end of it, we would upsell to about 30 to 40%, okay? And then the upsell is gonna come from your customers, right? Because once again, we don't wanna go back to this mindset of thinking what they need. We wanna give them what they want. So while you're coaching these people through your 4 to 6 week program and helping them and educating them, you wanna get obsessed with these people and ask them questions. Like, what else do you need? What other resources do you need? Apart from what we're doing right now, where else do you feel like you're missing, accountability or problems that you need solving and so on? And they're gonna tell you this, and that's gonna deliver value, and this is gonna help you recreate your offer. I'll give you another example. So when I first started coaching other coaches, educators, and people to build a business for freedom, I started off with a 6-week offer, which was actually doing what I knew best at the time, which was teaching high ticket sales, closing, and objection handling. So I grabbed my phone, I messaged and voice noted 300 coaches that I knew on Facebook in about 7 days. Similar style, I've got this offer, we're gonna help you close more deals, we're gonna help you handle objections. If you don't 4x your return, I'll give you your money back. And 23 people are in. 23 people said yes, right? We sold it for £500. So we created like 10, 11Ks worth of business in just a couple of weeks, right? So the messaging, going back to people, sending a proposal. And while I was coaching these people on how to close more deals and make more sales, I was also asking them on the Q&As, I was messaging some of them privately, like, what else do you need help with to get better results in your business? What else do you need help with to get better results in life? And they were saying, we need to learn how to make better offers and select certain niches and have better conversations and work on our mindset and all these other things, right? How to create Instagram and Facebook ads and so on. And instead of just like taking this information on and doing nothing with it, it helped me create my next offer. So once I finished with all of these people and the 23 people I took on, I was like, I got them all on a group call and I said, right, this has been great. The case studies work fantastically. You're all closing more deals. This is what I have in store for you next. And instead of me just guessing what they wanted, I just reeled off on a PowerPoint presentation. These are all the things that I'm going to coach you and teach you how to do. These are all the problems I'm going to help you solve. And everyone was just like, yep, I need this, I need this, I need this. They must have thought I was like a wizard or something, but it was because I asked them questions. I got obsessed with their problems. I got obsessed with their pains and where they seeked value. So that when it came to the offer at the end, which was a 12-month program, and I think we sold it for 2.5K, 17 people were like, I'm in. It was like amazing, right? And this has worked every single time. So that when you have the upsell, this can be for a 90-day, a 6-month, or a 12-month program, pricing between maybe 5 to 2K, depending on your offer, the service, and the proximity to you, and then you get your upsell. And then all you do is you just rinse and repeat this over and over again, and this helps you create a funnel and a value ladder and an ascension model to start a coaching business or an education business in 2025, even if you have a small following. So if you found this valuable, please leave a comment below, please subscribe, give me a like. I'd love to hear what you'd like to see for future videos. And as I said before, if you want to learn how to do this for free, we have a 7-day mini course. Just check the link in the description and you can get started with this play by play, step by step. We have the examples of how to create a niche, an example of how to create an offer, Google Docs the lot. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon in the next video.